All right, so random story. This guy comes to me and asks me, Doc, why is it that when I take alcohol, I feel very sleepy, like very low? But there's this guy that I know, he actually found his wife when he was actually drunk. So he gets excited and very, when he's taking alcohol. So I sat down with him to explain to him what actually happens when you take alcohol. You're just literally playing with the brain. Now, the brain has got two things, it has glutamate and it has GABA. Glutamate is this part that excites you. So whenever you're excited, meaning when you're running, your glutamate should be higher so that you do not sleep while running. And inversely, when you are sleeping, it means your GABA should be more so that you have a depressed mode so that you're able to sleep, not that you are running or sleeping. I think you get the point. Now, what alcohol does is that it stimulates GABA, meaning it depresses you in many, many patients. That's literally how alcohol works. So, meaning any normal person, when you take alcohol, you should have that moment where you just feel low because too much GABA is coming through. However, there's a certain group of people who just get excited, and this is because of other hormones like dopamine and whatnot. But on the alcohol itself, when they take it, it's like a low dose to them, or literally when you take alcohol at low dosages, it kind of inhibits this depressive state. So what you have in the end is this excitatory form, which is why certain people, when they take alcohol, they are going to be feeling excited. These are the people who can take a lot, but they're just feeling excited instead of being depressed, because that's naturally how they are. But ideally, alcohol is supposed to make you have a depressed mood. In certain people, you have a period of where you become very quiet and then you become excited. This is a period where your body naturally wants to balance itself. Since you're taking too much alcohol, which is depressing you, the body will start producing a lot of the glutamate. So it's kind of like it's trying to balance the equation. Now, that glutamate being produced is going to make you feel excited, which is why certain people who take alcohol, like let's say you took it for weeks and weeks and weeks, you just kept on drinking, drinking, and drinking. What you are doing this whole period is that you are stimulating this GABA, this depressive state. Then, Baba, you decide to stop drinking abruptly. What you've done is that you've removed that depressive state. The only thing that's remaining is that glutamate, the excitatory state. These are people who end up having convulsions. You start having seizures because you stop drinking alcohol, which is why at some point I mentioned that, do you know that stopping to take alcohol can give you convulsions? You can start having hallucinations because your hormones are not balanced in your brain. So that's as simply what alcohol does to your body. And maybe next time we'll explain why you end up having a hangover. But anyway, just a random thought. Cheers.